commission meeting tonight on the 17th of November. We ask that you would join us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll get right to business, and we'll start with item number 1, which is Employee of the Month, Rose Barnes.
So our Employee of the Month is Heather Isaacson from the Senior Center, and Tammy was the one that nominated her, so I'm going to let her go. It's been a few months that we've had her on the list.
Like 7.
Yeah, so anyway, I'm going to have you go ahead and say some things, and I
was going to read my email.
Okay,
Is that okay?
That's perfect.
Okay. So when I emailed Rose, this is what I said. I would like to nominate Heather Isaacson for Employee of the Month. She has been a mobile mill driver for it's almost 7 years now. She loves her job and cares very much for the seniors. This last year with COVID has been very difficult for the seniors. The mobile mill drivers were not allowed to go into their homes like they did before. This has made it difficult for the drivers to do their job completely because if their senior did not come to the door, they could not do a wellness check. Heather knows her seniors' habits, and if something looks out of the ordinary when she is delivering meals, she notices. She will let me know if I need to contact the senior or their emergency contact. One senior calls Heather her guardian angel because she found her after a bad fall. Heather waited with her, comforting her while they waited for help to come. This is one example of the many things she has done for her seniors. Heather is also very good at organizing our freezer full of frozen meals for mobiles. She also does a great job at filling out her paperwork and taking care of things for me when I take a day off. She is a great asset to the Senior Center.
Heather, do you want to come on up? And I'd like to just say the same thing, they do an amazing job with the seniors. They're kind to them, they're family to them, and, I know I'm going to make her cry. I don't want to cry. But, no, you guys do an amazing job, and it's a wonderful service that the county has for our seniors, so thank you so much for what you do. Thank you.
Thank you, Heather. Thank you, Heather.
It appears as though she doesn't want to speak to us, so that's okay. Yeah.
Well, thank you for being here.
Yeah,
thank you all.
We'll move on to item number 2, which is a Super Service Award, and we'll have Tina Henry address that one.
Hello, Commissioners. As always, I'm excited about this and excited that our office started this program almost 2 years ago. So it's been fun and recognizing those people in our community that sometimes don't get recognition. They're just used to getting the job done and doing the work. So with that being said, the nomination reads, in my opinion, Kim is the queen of hospitality. She is kind and genuine, as well as a go-getter who understands the importance of providing an unforgettable experience. She provides a fun, friendly, and progressively unique experience for those who attend Helper Saturday Vibes. Outside of those events, she stays involved in many other efforts and community projects. She also makes sure to support other events by attending and promoting them. We are extremely lucky to have her as a part of our community. And so I'm happy to present the November Super Service Award to Kimberly Kuhn with Helper Saturday Vibes. She'll want to take your picture after, but go ahead.
Oh, okay. Hi, thank you so much. I moved to Carbon County last April, and I haven't left I came for 4 days, and I'm just honored to be a part of the team here and looking at it as Carbon County as a family, but I do live in Helper. And if there's anything that I can do and help, anything above and beyond Helper Saturday Vibes, which has been hugely successful because of a huge team and a very strong team. So I just want to make it very clear that I'm very honored for this award, but I do dedicate this award to the 2021 Helper Saturday Vibes team. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Congratulations.
More picture taking. We'll move on to item number 3, which is the approval of the minutes.
I saw no corrections.
I saw none either. I'll make the motion that we approve minutes from the November 3rd, 2021 commission meeting.
I'll second that.
Okay, a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Item number 4 is open sealed bids for a used front-end loader for the road department. Seth, turn that one to you.
Yeah, we have a number of bids here. The first one's from Century Equipment Company out of Springville. Looks like this one's for a K721G wheel loader with 1,250 hours for $177,500. And looks like there's a second one in here for a Case 621G wheel loader with 1,100 hours, $162,500. Bids from Wheeler Machinery. It's for a 950 GC QC wheel loader, and it looks like it's a 2019 with 1,800 hours. Let's see if it's got a price on here. Like the bid amount is $157,600. This bid is from Honan Equipment. For a 2018 John Deere 544K2 loader. I don't see number. Says about 650 hours, and the bid amount's $141,200. This one's from Riverbend. It's for a Hitachi ZW180-6 wheel loader. For $184,815. This is another one from Riverbend for 2019 Hitachi ZW180-6 wheel loader with 1,684 hours for $151,735. Another one didn't have hours on it. This is another one from Riverbend for a 2019 John Deere 544K2 with 585 hours for $185,000. I think that was it.
I think maybe just a little explanation. We've advertised for used loaders, and so all of these appear to be used. I would think that we probably ought to just acknowledge the bids and recommend that Daniel and possibly myself review those and award based on that review.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, a motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Item number 5 is consideration and possible approval of request to allocate $20,000 for the kiosk panels around Carbon County. We'll turn that over to Mayor Peterman.
Hi. So unfortunately, I received an updated bid at the last minute from Ty Noyes at Flawless Sheeting, who had originally applied to the RFP. So I provided Commissioner Hopes an update. And one thing we neglected to include in that recommendation is installation fees. And in talking with Commissioner Hopes, we feel like if the county is taking on the installation, that the fund should come out of the Carbon County Tax Advisory Fund to provide back to that department. So we thought a fee of about $15,000 would be more than ample, and then we could pay the department who does the actual installation. So I don't know if you printed off the updated.
I did. $37,423.
Yes, that's the update. So we do have approval from USU Eastern. They'll purchase a couple of panels to go in the student union and then also in a resident hall. They haven't decided on a location for the build-out kiosk. They just know they want one. Helper City Council approved signing the contract with the county on this effort as well. So this kind of brings to completion the kiosk aspect of what we've been working on for the past year.
Today, the mayor and I went and we approved the site for both the Helper site and for the Swift site. And then next week, it looks like we'll be able to meet with Jason for the Wellington site. So those were the 4 that we were going to accomplish this year, and the rest of these could either happen this year, but most likely happen next year when it warms up a little bit.
I have no questions.
And if you haven't seen the kiosks that are up, you need to go and see them. They've done such a fantastic job. Credit to you and to Commissioner Hopes and that whole committee that's just been pushing on this to get those done. They've turned out fantastic, and the community support behind that has been great. So thank you very much.
Yeah, we're super excited about it, and it's going to hit that savings account, which I know there's been some new legislation that dictates we can't just stow away money as such. So a spend down on infrastructure is a smart spend, I feel. So.
Where can the public see one of these that's built?
You can see this at the Sinclair station and also at the Chevron station at exit 240. I don't remember the number for Highway 10.
Yeah.
So those 2 are up and available, and I included a full picture of what it looks like at the Sinclair. Just looks amazing. So.
Yeah, and do you want to explain where the dollars come from for these projects?
Yeah, I can do that. So in the restaurant industry and also in the hotel industry, there's a tax that's collected. It's called a transient room tax and a TRCC, Tourism Restaurant Convention Center tax. So that money is then collected It's paid by everybody that, so for the hotels, it's in your fee for the night to stay there. It's collected at every hotel across the country, I'm pretty sure. I know it is in the state of Utah. And then the restaurant tax is every time anybody from our area dines there, or we have visitors that dine there, that money is then collected and put into a pool, and it has to be spent on tourism or tourism-related products. So some of the money that we fund, and we'll talk about it later in our budget tonight, some of it goes to funding the event center because of all the athletic fields, the fairgrounds that draw in tourists from around the state to attend those venues. Then the other things we're working on is building out our tourism assets. It can also be used to fund events like Helper Vibes or some of the races and different things that happen throughout the year. So just depending on what the priorities of the Tourism Tax Advisory Board, they have the discretion to recommend projects to the commission, and they recommend both advertising for events and for build out of tourism assets.
Great, thank you. Okay, well, I guess we're just needing a motion then on this.
I'll make the motion that we approve this request to allocate. It's going to be $37,000, is that correct?
Yeah.
$37,423.86 for these kiosk projects.
I'll second that.
Motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you for all your work.
Thank you. It's going to be awesome when we get these all done. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your work.
Item number 6 is consideration and possible approval of board members for the Sheriff's Merit Commission, Southeastern Utah Board of Health, the Planning Commission, Carbon County Tax Advisory Board, the Career Service Council, the Weed Board, and the Scofield Reservoir Special Service District. Who would like to start that conversation?
I've kind of got them listed down here. Maybe I could start it off. So we received no applications for the Sheriff's Merit Commission. We have received one application to fill the Southeastern Utah Board of Health vacancy. That currently position is being held by Deborah Pete, and she has sent a letter indicating that she would be happy to continue serving on that board. Should we make these motions one at a time?
I think so as we go through them. I'll make a motion that we reappoint Debbie Pete to the Southeastern Utah Health Board.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
The second one is the Planning Commission. So there's 4 vacancies for the regular members and 2 vacancies for alternate members of that group. And we have 3 individuals that are currently serving on that board that all 3 of them would like to continue to serve. That would be Michael Bryant, Trapper Burdick, and Gary Taylor. We have 2 vacancies for alternate members of that board. Jeff Peters currently serves as an alternate, and he has requested to continue to serve there, as well as we have a new application for Richard Hackwell to serve there. And I'm just a little bit confused as I look now at this. There's supposedly 4 vacancies. And I think I only have 3 permanent and 2 on the alternate. And Jeannie's not here to straighten us out.
You
But
wanna-
maybe,
Would we like to come back to that one or
well,
table that?
I think what we could do, I think there may be a mistake on the number of 4 vacancies. So as, yes.
So maybe we could appoint him because you know there's at least one vacancy.
Yeah, so what Todd recommended was that we reappoint Michael, Trapper, and Gary for the regular positions, and Jeff Peters back in as an alternate, and also add Richard Hackwell as an alternate. So that way everybody who has applied would be on the board either as a regular member or an alternate. And the alternate, that position, usually if someone is unable to attend the Planning Commission meetings, they notify Doris, and then one of the alternates attend to make sure we have enough to form the quorum that is required to make votes.
So is it your understanding that there's only 3 vacancies open?
That's what Todd was saying, but he's out of town. We worked through this over the phone. We could put it on hold till the next meeting and make sure we're straight on it.
Or put the 3 on with the 2 alternates, and then if we do have a space, we could bring up one of the
We could
alternates.
alternate either way.
Whichever's-
I would be comfortable with that. That way it's in place if it's only 3, and then we can bring up one of the alternates if we need to adjust to a 4th, and then re-advertise for the alternate.
Yep. So I'll make the motion that we appoint Michael Bryant, Trapper Burdick, Gary Taylor to fill the regular board vacancies, and to appoint Jeff Peters and Richard Hackwell as alternates.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The next one then, is that the tourism? Would you like to take that one, Casey?
Yeah, I don't have them all written down.
I can read the names if you want me to.
So there's Athena Robinson, Anna Wilder, and I'm just going to read in where they're from. Athena is from, she's the general manager at National 9. Anna Wilder is the restaurant manager out the Outlaw Cafe. Angelo Kotipis, he owns 2 of the gas stations in town, both the Sinclair and the Chevron, the ones we talked about earlier. Rebecca Driggs, and she's the manager of, I'm trying to see where that's at. The soda shop at Nels. Okay. Paula Ingram, and she's the manager of Crosscut. Scotty Draper, who is from ETV News. Barbie Heck is from the Chamber. Adriana Pay is from Wingers. She's the manager at Wingers. And I'll explain after this why I'm announcing where they're from. Lenny's Peterman, and she is the helper city mayor, but more importantly for this, she is the city also owns a tourism asset in the Railroad Mining Museum. Richard Hackwell was also applying for this, and that makes 10 applicants. We can have up to 13 people to sit on the board, and it's fluctuated throughout the years. The reason why I read in where they work is the code is very specific on where the and I'll just read it. It says the majority of the members shall be current employees entities in the county that are subject to taxes referred to in this section. So that's the hoteliers and the restaurants. And then it says the balance of the board members shall be employees of recreational facilities, convention facilities, museums, cultural attractions, or other tourism-related industries located within the county. The majority of the applicants for this board meet that. I believe the only one in question for me is Richard Hackwell. He did own a business, the chocolate factory, that could have been considered a restaurant, but he has sold that. And I don't know if finance, his
He might still have that car wash.
okay.
The one thought about
It does say that he does own the car wash.
one thought about Richard is he indicated he would be happy to serve on one of 3 boards. Now he has been appointed to the Planning Commission.
So if he only wants one of 3, maybe we leave him on the Planning Commission.
Okay. Well, if that's the case, then we have 9 applicants, which gives us an odd number. It does have more industry than non-industry, so more hoteliers and restaurant or business workers than people that are just in tourism in general. So I like the makeup of the board. It gives us several new members to draw from, and it also keeps a few some historic knowledge and will help the board.
So one question on that was to try to offset the expiration of the board appointments. So right now, everybody is being appointed.
Yeah.
Would serve the same term.
So one thought that has been recommended is to possibly take those that currently serve, which would be Lenise Peterman, Athena Robinson, Barbie Heck, and Angelo Katipas, and assign them a 2-year term, and then the other 5, Scotty Draper, Paula Ingram, Rebecca Driggs, Anna Winder, and Adriana Pay for a 4-year term.
I would be in favor of that. It would help to stagger things out.
If you would come to the microphone, sure.
So who were the 5 industry again?
The
Sorry.
majority were industry. I think the only ones that were not were Lenise Peterman, Gopher, and Scotty. Oh, and the chamber. So you've got 5 from industry and 4.
And we say industry, but do they pay to TRT or TRCC, the 5?
Yes, they're all either restaurant or hoteliers.
They are?
So Angelo would be one of the.
Oh, and Angelo,
have 2
actually, he does
They have a restaurant.
Well,
does
I don't
not.
think he doesn't.
No.
He doesn't qualify.
Nope.
So he would be one. He does have the Burger Shack. That's part of it, but it's not.
They're not required to pay TRCC.
Okay.
So my concern is a majority of the board has to be employees of entities who pay into TRT and TRCC, and as I was going through the numbers, I think the majority is not.
It's 5-4.
So we can't appoint the 5 that are just industry?
No, it's 5 industry.
TRT and TRCC. Who are the 5?
So you got Athena Robinson, Anna Wilder. Gopher Katipas is not. Rebecca Driggs. Paula Ingram. Scotty Draper is not. Barbie Heck is not. Adriana Pay.
Okay.
That's.
Perfect.
I thought I had counted them up. So there's 5 and 4.
Perfect.
5
Perfect.
industry, 4
So,
tourism related.
so you guys are wanting to appoint the ones who are not paying into TRT as the longer term?
No, it's just the opposite. So
Okay.
those that are currently on the board would have the shortened 2-year terms and then have to reapply, and then those that are being appointed would have the 4-year terms.
Okay. And that's what our terms are set. I thought they were 1-year terms. Are they?
2.
They are 2-year terms?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. That's where I was confused. Sorry.
Thanks for keeping us straight, though. We appreciate it.
So are they 2-year terms and 4-year terms?
2 here, it says here, I don't have 4-year
So
listed.
none of them are 4?
So we can appoint 1 and 2-year terms. So the 4 would be up again next year, and then
We could apply 2-year after that, right? Just to offset them.
Since it's a minimum of 2, you could do 3 for the pay into TRT and the 2 for the industry related. So do some for 3, the 5 for 3, and the other for 2. Since you did advertise that they would serve for at least 2 years.
okay.
Sorry, I'm taking that as well.
Lynn, are you good with that?
I think that would work.
Okay. We want to make a motion then on the Tourism Tax Advisory Board?
I'll make a motion that we appoint the 9 members that we talked about that are either from industry or tourism-related assets, with the 4 that are currently sitting on the board being appointed to 2-year terms, and the other 5 being appointed to 3-year terms.
I'll second that. Do we need their names? At least the ones for the 2-year term.
So Lenise Peterman, Gopher Katipas,
Athena Robinson.
and Barbie Heck as 2-year terms.
And Scotty.
And Scott. Oh, but Athena's on the board currently.
But she pays in.
Okay. So Scotty Draper instead of Athena Robinson as the 2-year terms.
Are we all confused?
Yes.
Say it one more time.
Yeah, say it one more time.
Mayor
For the
Peterman,
record.
Scotty Draper, Barbie Heck, and Angelo Katipas as 2-year terms, and then the rest of them being appointed to 3-year terms.
I'll second that.
Sorry about the minutes.
Are you sure? Okay, we have a motion as a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Okay. The next one is the Carbon County Career Service Council. Did we receive any applications for that one?
We do not have a third one. We have 2 in place right now on that one and need a third one, which would be an attorney. And I think we're still working on that. So nothing to change there.
Okay, and then the next one is the Carbon County Weed Board.
We have no applicants for that.
Okay. How about the Scofield Reservoir Special Service District?
So that one, there's, oh, go ahead.
We did receive 1 application from Casey Williams to serve on that board. What I don't know is if that board is specific to areas, and I'm not sure if he fits the qualification. I imagine he does.
He does. So this is for the Singleton subdivision in Scofield.
Okay.
And he currently serves in that position and has agreed to reapply.
I'll make a motion to reappoint him.
I'll second that.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Okay, are there any other applicants or board positions we need to speak to?
Nope, that's fine.
I believe that was the last one.
Okay. Item number 7 is consideration and possible approval of real property tax adjustment for local residents.
Want me to work on that?
Sure.
So this is another round of properties where the property owners have found some errors in the tax notices that have gone out and have approached our assessor's office. And so this is a list of those who have come in the last 2 weeks that have requested some changes to be made. And so I think there's quite a few of them. I think maybe I can just read through these one parcel at a time. And we have some that we're going to approve and some that we're not going to approve, it appears. So parcel 02-0763-0000 has requested that their property receive primary exemption, and it's been recommended that we approve that. Any discussion on?
Do you want to state who the property owner is?
Don't have that in front of me. I'd have to.
No problem. It's not necessary, just curious.
I think, just as a suggestion, maybe we could just read the parcels, maybe the ones that we are going to approve.
Okay.
And maybe a little description as to why. And then maybe on a separate motion, we could put why, we'll list the ones that we're going to deny and why, if that works for you guys.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
So parcel 1A-1265-0023 has the same request to receive the primary exemption. And that one has been recommended that we approve. Let's see, Gillen, we had the one, have you had a chance to figure that one out? Why don't you come up? And so this one would be parcel 2A-0025-0137.
Yeah, the taxpayer here brought to the attention of the assessor's office that the land size was being assessed larger than its actual size. And this area has existence since the year 2000. From that time frame up to today, they've had an overpayment of about $1,145. They do have a few years that they have not paid, though, specifically tax year number 2020, 2018, and this year as well, 2021. So with that, it would offset by about $900. So the actual, for that specific parcel, there's about a $250 refund that would be owing to them for that specific parcel. Upon further research, they do own several parcels in the area, and they have a few outstanding years. So all in all, it's going to be a wash. In fact, they're still going to be behind once that's applied to other parcels. So I do agree that it should be lowered, and I have a new value list right here of what I recommend for those years, and then with that refund being just directly applied to current outstanding taxes.
Okay, thank you. And that's the recommendation to us that we approve that one. Parcel number 1A-0064-0000. That one has a request. I think that's the same issue. It's the size of the property was in question, and it's been in error, and so a reduction in that amount that he has been taxed, as well as changing it for future. That one has been recommended to approve. Parcel 01-2042-0023 is requesting primary exemption. And again, this one is being recommended that we approve. Parcel 01-1814-0000. And this one should be exempt based on the owner's information that came in. And that one is being approved, or recommended that we approve.
That one for sure we probably should put in the minutes that that's the Housing Authority's parcel.
Okay, thank you. So the Housing Authority's the arm of the county. Then we have, jumping down a ways, we have parcel 01-0943-0000, a request for primary exemption. And there's a second parcel owned by the same people, parcel 01-0928-0000, which appears like they should receive the primary exemption, and it's recommended we approve that. Parcel 01-1023-0000, also a request for primary residential exemption. Recommended we approve that. And parcel 02-2370-0000, combined parcels, missing improvements. I think that one is the, well, that's not the one where the home was demoed, is it?
No, this was actually an increase. They were worried that they would get behind because we're not assessing them enough. So this will actually be an increase to their value because they added a home, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. And the recommendation that that one be approved. The last one is 2A-0013-0084. And this one in 2020, the home on the parcel was torn down, but the 2021 value does not reflect that the home is no longer there. And so there's been an adjustment asked for, and the value would change to just reflect the value of the property only, not the home, and it's recommended that we approve that. So that's the list of those that recommended to approve.
I'll make a motion that we approve all of those that were read into the record as approvals, to approve all of them.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
Did I say enough approvals in there?
Now, there's 4 parcels that we are not going to approve. The first one is parcel 2A-0051-0091. That's requested a primary residential exemption, and it's recommended we deny that. Next one is parcel 2A-0191-0000. That one is a reconsideration of the value, and it's recommended that we do not change the value. And also parcel 2A-0185-0002, reconsidering the value of that property, and it's recommended we do not change that. The next one is parcel 02-2200-0005, requesting ag value to be reinstated, and it's recommended that we deny that. So those 4 would be recommended to deny their request.
Motion to deny all 4 requests.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Okay.
Thanks, Gillen.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for reading that in, Commissioner Jensen. We'll move on to item number 8, approval and ratification of the 2021 business personal property exemption list.
So the number of businesses requesting personal property was 658 for a total value of $4,088,000. And to my understanding, it's just a standard practice to submit this to you as a commission board.
We just need to accept it, I guess. Huh?
Yeah, I think that's
Maybe
fine.
just a explanation of what qualifies someone for the exemption?
So this would be a business that has assets that are less than $15,000. And so small local businesses are given the ability to claim an exempt status from taxing all the way up until the first $15,000 of their personal property. It's geared towards encouraging and supporting new businesses, but at some point when they have grown enough, they will then start sharing or start being taxed on the business personal property that the entity owns. So this is all, that 4 million is split up between those 600 and something 58 businesses that have personal property that is below the $15,000 mark.
Okay. Any other further discussion?
Nope.
No.
Okay.
I'll make the motion, we accept the real property tax adjustment for local residents. That's the wrong one. Am I on the wrong one?
Yeah, at 8.
Approval of the 2021 business personal property exemption list.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Thanks, Gil. We'll move on to item number 9, which is a public hearing for the the amended Carbon County 2021 budget.
Commissioners, we, as mentioned in a previous commission meeting, we usually once or twice a year make amendments to our budget as needed, whether that's unexpected expenses or new grants that we receive or the like. We just have a few to present tonight, and I will just quickly explain those if that's okay. The first one is an increase of $40,000 to the budget for our public defender. This is actually part of a grant that we received from the Public Defense Commission to pay for a secretary to manage the grant. And so this increase is something that we are already currently paying. It started this year, and then, like I said, is covered by a grant. The second item is an increase of $25,000 to our personnel budgets, professional and technical. This is for the purpose to cover expenses already incurred because of personnel matters where we need legal assistance this year. The third one is in Fund 20. This is under building inspection. It's my understanding that the vehicle that Ryan Monson currently uses is over 10 years old, is on its last legs. So we increased their budget, or proposed an amendment to increase their budget and their equipment by $50,000 to cover the cost of a new vehicle for them. And then the last one is one that we've kind of already discussed tonight. It's an increase to the Highway Class B road budget in the amount of $200,000 to cover the possible purchase of a new front-end loader this year. So those are the only 4 that I have for you tonight. If you have any questions, thanks.
I have no questions.
No questions.
Okay.
Public hearing?
Yeah. Want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion that we go into public hearing.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion, a second. We are now in a public hearing at, what is that, 5:18? If anybody would like to come and speak to the changes that are being proposed tonight? I don't hear anybody coming up the stairs. Don't see anybody rushing to the microphone. Do I have to wait a whole minute?
No.
Seeing that nobody is coming to speak and address these changes, I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll move that we close the public hearing.
I'll second that.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Public hearing is now closed at 5:19.
Now, do we need a motion to approve the amended changes?
There's an item, 2 items down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't see it. There it is.
Yeah, so I'm going to skip item number 10, and we'll go down to item number 11, which is the consideration and possible approval of the amended Carbon County 2021 budget.
I'll make the motion we approve the amended Carbon County 2021 budget.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. We'll go back up to item number 10, which is review and possible approval of joining the State of Utah opioid litigation settlement. Commissioner Hopes, did you want to talk about that?
Sure. So this is, so most of the counties in the state and throughout the nation have filed suit against some of the opioid companies and the distributors for their distribution of opioids in a manner that everybody thought was excessive. So we hired a firm, Jones Waldo. We didn't hire them. We actually entered into an agreement that they would litigate for us. If they won, then we would receive, they would collect their fees out of the settlement. At the beginning of this year, or sometime near the beginning of this year, the state was approached, and there was a potential settlement agreement proposed where the state would receive funding, and depending on which counties would join in, there would be additional funds that would be added to that settlement. The state is proposing a settlement of 60% go to the state and 40% to the counties, distributed by population as well as the use rate or abuse rate in the community that they come from. Carbon County was one of the highest, if not, I think it was the highest in the nation for per capita use of opioids. So we stand to collect a little higher than other counties of our size. Currently, we're in negotiations with the state over that settlement. Part of that settlement would also, the state has also agreed that they would, if all of the counties and cities over 10,000 agree to opt in, they would take that 60-40 split. Now, if there's 60%, they would add 15 million of that, or 15% of that. Yeah, 15% of that would then go into a fund that counties could apply for to help with the opioid problems in their communities. So in reality, it's 55% that would come to the counties, with 15% of that would be something that we would have to apply for. There would be a state board appointed from county members as well as state legislature members that would divvy out that money. So really, I don't know that we have a decision that we can make tonight. The deadline is coming up quickly. They want to have a decision by the end of the year. The state's pushing to have a decision by Friday. I don't know that everybody's on board by Friday. There's 3 different groups of counties. There's us in Utah County have hired Jones Waldo, and then there's 17 other counties that are kind of jointly using the same firm, and then there's another smaller group we're trying to negotiate between all of those groups. So I don't think we're quite ready. So just for information, that's the information that we can share tonight. Is there anything else that you think that's helpful?
Just to be aware that it's coming, and when it comes, we'll need to make a quick decision. But you're worried about how the attorney's fees were going to be paid out, and that we think will be resolved as well.
Yeah, that's a good point. There is a national pool that will be set up to pay all of the attorneys out of, and our attorney, depending on how, part of the problem is that this is a settlement with all of the states and all of the counties across the country. So all of the states have to report back whether or not and they're in and how many of their entities over 10,000 are in, including the counties. And so if they reach critical mass or enough of the cities and counties and the states throughout the country, they'll proceed forward with this settlement. But if not, we go back to litigating. But our portion, our attorneys have indicated that they're might be in favor of entering into an agreement with us to amend our agreement, that they would take their portion out of the national pool.
Joint fund.
That would yet to be determined, but.
And if I could too, that this is just one drug manufacturer.
Correct.
So there could be more with other manufacturers.
So this current settlement is for, can I name the plaintiff?
Yeah.
Johnson & Johnson and the distributors. There are other manufacturers that are not part of this suit, Purdue and a handful of others. So this is just this is setting the table for what might happen with the rest of the other opioid makers.
Okay, so do we want to make any kind of motion tonight then, or?
I think we just a motion to table, put it on our next agenda, and possibly, if needs be, we might have to have a special meeting to approve something if there's time frames that they need us to move on.
Kind of sound like a motion, didn't it?
Yep.
Motion to table.
All in favor?
And bring back every time we need it. Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Okay. The next thing on our agenda is a public hearing that's proposed for the proposed 2022 budget, which will start at 6 o'clock. So it's basically 30 minutes from now.
Motion to adjourn until 6 o'clock.
I'll second it.
What was their record?
I don't know.
Were they decent?
He's trying to straighten. I kind of think
Okay.
he might have been. But I remember they weren't too bad.
Were they pretty good?
But I don't think they were more than real good.
Huh.
So it said, the committee decided unanimously all programs should be dropped unless $50,000 can be added to the budget and to approve. And 3 coaches had left.
So is it streaming? Yeah.
We'll go ahead if you're good with that. All right, thanks.
So it's on. Okay, we'll go ahead and talk to item number 12, which is the public hearing for our proposed 2022 Carbon County budget. The hearing was supposed to start at 6. We had a couple technical difficulties, but we're up and running now. So, Seth, did you want to start us off on the?
Yeah, if you don't mind, I just wanted to review each of the funds. I think I'll just go over the total amount budgeted for each fund and compare that to our current year 2020 budget, and then just hit some high points of what has changed, if anything, year over year, if you're all right with that.
Great.
Fund 10 is our general fund. We've budgeted for, our proposed budget, tentative budget for 2022 is $16,526,000. That compares to our 2020 budget. Our 2020 budget is $16,538,000 currently for Fund 10. So that's a small decrease. There are some increases that we've made. maybe just to give an overall feel, there was $300,000 budgeted for a jail re-roof. It was a transfer from Fund 10 to Fund 45, which is our capital projects, but it shows in Fund 10 as an expenditure. There was that $300,000 reduction that's different year over year. And then the increases that we see are, we have a $90,000 increase in our budget in Fund 10 for an insurance renewal. That's our year over year insurance renewal to maintain the same level of insurance we have for employees currently. We have an increase of $50,000, which we talked about in our earlier meeting. That's to cover the secretary for the public defenders. That's covered by a grant. We have an increase of about $30,000 in our 2022 proposed budget for ECDC garbage dumping. We've seen a decent increase in that this year. I think some of that is because there's been increased garbage, but the bulk of that is because they've increased their rates on us. ECDC has. There's a $60,000 increase in our maintenance budget. That was for an extra maintenance person. And one of the ideas behind this is if we can get this maintenance person to cover the outside maintenance of several of our buildings, it'll actually be a savings for us in the long run. Currently, we pay an outside business to do that maintenance for us. So we also have there's about $1.9 million that's been budgeted for our ARPA funds, and that's money that we received. We received $1.9 million in 2021, and we are meant to receive the same amount for 2022, so that's also included. And then there's also an increase for a COLA for employees in Fund 10. So those are kind of the highlights, the things that have been reduced and things that have been increased. Overall, like I said, it compares to our current Fund 10 budget. It's about a $12,000 decrease. Moving on to Fund 15, which is our tourism. Our proposed budget for 2022 is $592,000. Our 2021 budget was $572,000, so that's an increase of $20,000. This fund is exclusively funded by our transient room tax and our restaurant tax. So although it shows an increase, it's because we've seen an increase in our revenue from those two revenue streams. Moving on to Fund 19, which is our recreation, carbon rec. Our budget for 2022, our proposed budget is $557,000. That's $3,000 less than our current budget. Our 2021 budget is $560,000 for Fund 19, so there's a small decrease from 21 to 22. Moving on to our Fund 20, which is our municipal services fund, sorry. Our budget or proposed budget for 2022 is $7,193,000. And then that compares to our 2021 budget. Our current budget for Fund 20 is $6,901,000, so it's an increase of approximately $294,000. Some of that is attributed to an increase in road work that we need to have done next year just to maintain the roads, and some of that is attributed to a COLA for employees in Fund 20, as well as there's a small increase of $20,000 for an additional part-time person at the animal control. Moving on to Fund 24, which is our senior center. Our proposed budget for 2022 is $288,000. That's a slight increase year over year. Our 2021 budget for Fund 24 is $273,000, so it's an increase of about $15,000. We continue to see increases in our Fund 24 and 25 because mainly because of COVID. We've seen an increase steady increase in the number of mobile meals that we do, so it requires us to purchase more food and supplies to be able to provide that service. So moving on to Fund 25, I briefly mentioned that. That's our food for our senior center. So it includes our chefs out there, the kitchen staff, mobile meals drivers. Our budget for 2022, our proposed budget is $608,000. That's a $11,000 increase year over year. Our Fund 25 for our current year, 2021, budget was $597,000, just as a comparison. Our Fund 26 is our fairgrounds and rec center, or not rec center, fairgrounds and community center out there. There's our budget there for 2022, proposed budget is $531,000. That compares to our 2021 budget out there of $502,400. So it's an increase of just under $30,000. Our Fund 28 is our my mind went blank. I know what it is, but I can't think of the word.
Airport? Future.
Future.
It's our future. It's our economic development. Thanks. Appreciate it. Fund 28. Our budget is $182,350 is our proposed budget for 2022. It's significantly less than our current budget. Our 2021 budget in Fund 28 is $430,000. And that's because of our Brownsfield grant. Maybe you can touch on that if you'd like to. We have in the past, but it's a large grant that we receive just to clean up properties to use them for economic development purposes that may have issues, like our gun range we talked about last meeting. Fund 45, our capital projects, our budget is $15,000 for our proposed budget is $15,000 for 2022. That's much less than our 2021 budget, which was $365,000. And that's because we budgeted for our jail re-roof in 2021, and we don't have any capital projects scheduled for 2022. Fund 54 is our airport. Our proposed budget for 2022 is $148,500. Our 2021 budget for the airport was $333,000, and that's attributed to a snow removal equipment shed that we built in 2021, and it was built off of an FFA grant. Our Fund 55 is our court complex, includes the new 7th District court building. Our budget is $924,000. That stays about the same year over year. It's a business type fund. Our Fund 56, which is our municipal building authority, houses our bonds. Our proposed budget for 2022 is $2,609,500. It's significantly less than our 2021 current budget of $4,904,500, and that is because in 2021 we budgeted to have bonds and remodel our old 7th District court building for the Southeastern Utah Health Department. So we included that in our current 2021 budget, but it's not in our 2022 budget, therefore the decrease there. So there's hopefully some highlights for you there, and a good overview of our 2022 proposed budget. If you have any questions, you have to answer them. Thanks.
Okay, thanks for that, Seth. Appreciate it. Commissioners, did you have any comments you'd like to say?
The only comment that I would have for the public is that we have budgeted increased wages, and the current environment with inflation and the struggles that everybody across the state and probably many parts of the country are having now with employees in order to retain and hang on to employees, we're having to do the same thing everybody's doing. And the employees of, there's no question they deserve some cost of living increases to help them catch up with inflation that has probably tripled over the last few years, the raise that we're giving them. So they're still behind. But we feel inclined to make sure that we try to take care of them this year better than we've been able to.
Yeah, and to echo what Commissioner Jensen's saying too, we've seen employees have left here. They continue to leave. We got an announcement, a couple more leaving today. You know, when it starts affecting the operations of the county, we have to step in and do something. When it interferes with the safety of the county, we've had Price City poach a couple of deputies from the sheriff. The Highway Patrol has this offer out for some new deputies, but there's also piqued the interest of current deputies that they're trying to do. So they're offering large incentives to attract law enforcement to the Highway Patrol. So the county's not immune to employees that are here, have not got wages increased for years, easily being lured away to other places that are in need of workforce. We're still charged in running and operating and making sure that things happen, and this, in my mind, is definitely needed to keep some of the key employees that we have here.
The only thing I can add is just a sentiment of appreciation for all of our department heads. They all work hard at staying within their budgets. So this year we'll come in under our proposed budget by several $100,000. Is that accurate to say?
Yeah, that's what we're forecasted to do.
And so it goes to the sentiment or the work that our department heads are doing. So I just want to express my appreciation for our department heads and the work that they do, not to spend everything that's in their budget, but to only spend the money that they need to keep operating. And then they turn the rest of that back every year. And we continue to work with them to refine and adjust our budgets to make sure that they have what they need and we're okay to operate with the money that's there. So.
Very good.
I might make one other comment. You know, we've gone quite a few years without updating and replacing machinery at the road department, and we're in dire need of updating. And we've bought one loader earlier this year, and we've got enough money to buy a second one, which we opened bids for tonight. We have quite a few vehicles that are really, really wore out in the county, and we've replaced one for the building department. The sheriff's lined another one up for yourself. There's a Meals on Wheels truck we're trying to replace, and two for the road department that were bid a few weeks ago. So we can't turn our back on maintenance issues, not only for vehicles and equipment, but our buildings. And so that's a focus. And this budget reflects some increases in those areas to make sure we're not neglectful in taking care of what we have.
Do we have any other comments?
I don't know if it's been opened up for public hearing.
I'll make a motion that we open up for public hearing.
I'll second that.
Okay, we are now in a public hearing at starting at 6:20. Anybody that would like to come up and make a comment or address the 2022 proposed budget, we'd welcome you to do so. Just state your name and for the record. The doors are open. Nobody's coming up the stairs.
Seeing no interest, I'll make a motion that we close the public hearing.
I second that.
The public hearing is now closed We'll say at 6:21.
I'll make the motion, unless there's any more discussion, that we approve well, we're not going to approve it till our next meeting. So I'm not going to make a motion.
Do we need to approve
Let's-
the tentative budget?
No, I don't think we need to tonight. Like Larry said, we've just planned to do it in our next meeting.
Perfect. Motion to adjourn.
Second.
We are adjourned. Thank you.
We did it.
See if I can do it.
Sheriff.